What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of High Mythology, the show where I get higher than the 13th heaven, nestled way up in that sexy crocodile head, and we tell you guys stories from mythology and folklore with a little bit of a silly twist. Today, we will be bringing you a fan-requested episode, the Aztec creation myth. So it's about to get bloody. Hope you brought your blood ponchos, because...
That's what they're about, man.
Yeah, there will be blood. Yeah. I know Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't actually ever say that in the movie, but he fucking should have.
He should have.
He should have.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would have been better than talking about drinking somebody's milkshake.
My milkshake takes all the boys to the yard.
I'll drink your milkshake. I'll drink it right up. You put the two of those together and... Well, yeah. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably see our pretty faces. Yeah, and if you're listening to it and are interested in seeing our pretty faces, check out the YouTubes. We're all up in it now.
Ooh.
Oh, maybe wrong choice of wording. Ask consent before you get all up in YouTube.
Yeah, definitely consent first. It's usually a good thing.
Consent, yeah.
Not passed out.
I got all up in YouTube while I was passed out. How does that work?
Out. It's consent that far.
It was
right?
YouTube. How does YouTube sleep?
No.
Well, okay. Now that we made it nice and awkward, go ahead and take it away there, Gimbo.
All right, so the Aztec creation, the legend of the five sons. The Aztec creation myth is an interesting one amongst the myths because it is not a creation story. It is a cycle of death and rebirth that results in 5 different creations.
5. Yeah, these guys go hard.
Well, 5 is their key number. You know what I mean? Like
the
Norses are 9 and...
Yeah. They've got a lot of key. They got a lot of key numbers. Interesting numbers.
It's all about numbers.
Yeah. 52. That's another big one.
That's the universal number.
That's the universal number. Yeah.
My math teacher told me so.
Yeah. 42 is the answer, I think.
It's 52.
It's 52?
That's what she told me.
Oh,
That's always stuck with me. I was like, what the fuck does 52 have anything to do with it? I'm like, I can't get my senior citizen discount till I'm 55. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway, so you thought that the Mayans were big on apocalypses. These guys destroyed and remade the world 4 times already.
Yeah.
There are many different versions of the story, and due to the whole conquistador thing, they were mainly passed down verbally. So all of them are a little bit different.
Yeah.
But you can still get the good idea of what led to their religious practices, namely the whole human sacrifice thing.
That was a pretty big thing.
Warning you now that these motherfuckers get violent. Like rivers of blood violent.
Yeah. Rivers of blood. An interesting note, too, is, that the Mayan, there's a lot of crossover between their mythology and Mayan mythology, too, which I thought was kind of cool. Like Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl was the big one that was...
He's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, he was both in Mayan and Aztec, just under different names.
Interessante.
Yeah.
So our story begins, as most, in the blank chasm of nothingness.
The chasm of nothingness.
That was the void before creation, as most start.
Yeah.
And out of this void, the dual god, Omataro.
Ometeotl?
Omatitio. I can't pronounce it.
Ometeotl? Ometeotl, I think, is what the next one's going to be the real one that gets you. We got some names here.
Omechital?
Omechihitit. Yeah, I think you actually had it right. I think I just have a lot of trouble with that word. I like hiccup in the middle of it every time. Omechital.
Well, I know that usually the T is silent in that.
Mm-hmm. Hodl.
Anyway.
Odal.
Which means Lord or Lady of Duality.
Duality. Yeah.
Clearly, I can't read.
Duality. I like that. She was the Lord and the Lady of Duality.
I'm thinking like a hermaphrodite.
Oh, yeah.
Dick and vagina.
Yeah. It's a big vagina with balls hanging out of it. Yeah. Put that on your fucking truck.
Oh my god, we should
Drive
do
it around. Yeah. I want to put that on my Prius.
Oh wow. Okay, we don't have a Prius, and we're not going to get one because of that now.
Because of that.
The first deity was both man and woman, as well as good and evil. And out of this god of duality came 4 children, because she fucking self-regenerated that way.
Yeah. Just popped them out all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's a couple like that. And each fucking child became the cardinal directions.
Yeah.
There was Huitzilopochtli, the war god known as the hummingbird of the south. There was Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl. I know that one.
Quetzalcoatl, meaning feathered serpent or precious serpent, depending on who you ask. He was a wind god as well as arguably the most famous of the bunch, being the only one to spell check recognize.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can type in 90% of these names. Spell check is like, go fuck yourself on Twizzle-a-plottle. You type in Quetzalcoatl, though, and they're like, yeah, bitch, get some Final Fantasy on.
Yep, it's everyone's favorite Final Fantasy summon. There was also Tezcatlipoca. No. Tezcatlipoca, the god of obsidian, who was also associated with sacrifice. And rounding out the 3 list, Zyptoxic.
Zipetotek.
Zipetotex.
Zipetotek.
Which translates to our Lord the Flayed One.
Yeah.
Wow. He was the god of death and rebirth. And it was also said that he would flay his skin on the crops to give humanity food.
Yeah.
Real age shit going on.
Yeah. Interesting fact too. I don't think we mentioned in here also was he was born. The reason he's called the Flayed God is he was born without skin.
Oh.
Yeah.
So every time his skin came in, he
would cut it off. He's like, fuck it. Throw a patch at your corn. Have some maize with skin on it.
Nerdy.
Yeah.
These gods of the directions wasted no time creating. They made a ton of other gods and creatures to float around the void with them.
Party time!
They spent 680 years in the void, just creating random shit.
Check this out. It's a bird whale. Sweet, dude. Check this out. It's a flying turd. Oh!
One of these things that was created was known as the Chipotle. Sipactli?
Sipactli? Yeah, I think that's it. We'll call it. Yeah.
It's a giant sea monster that was part fish and part crocodile.
Has that sexy crocodile face.
And Chipotle was larger than anything they had ever been created before. And she had an insatiable appetite. She quickly ate all that had been created. Then every time they would create something new, she would eat it before it had a chance at life. Seeing this, the 4 original gods decided to put a stop to her. Each one of them grabbed a part of her and ran across the void.
Oh.
In the struggle, Tezcatlipoca got his foot bitten off. Which he would later replace with an obsidian mirror.
Which is an odd choice for a foot replacement.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Like a peg leg makes way more sense than a fucking put a stick in it. Why are you walking around with a mirror? And like maybe if you're like,
dude is going up his skirt.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Is he's looking up everybody's skirt? Ladies. He's just like walking around just with a mirror foot. Like, yeah, okay.
They kept pulling until they were at the edge of the void. Eventually, she ripped apart, and she would become all of the cosmos.
Too big.
13 heavens stretched into her head.
Mm-hmm. That sexy, sexy crocodile face.
Her tail became the 9 underworlds.
Mm-hmm. That's
and her body became the earth.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Of course it does.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
From her blood, they created the first woman. And from her ground bone, Her ground bone.
Yeah, ground up bone.
Oh, wow. They created the first man. So women did come first to them. Okay. From the first humans were also giants.
Yeah.
Giants have been around forever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
After the Chipakli was destroyed, they went back to the creating. And they made more creatures to inhabit the earth, as well as a god and a goddess of rain. Talok and his wife, fuck me.
Chihuahua Hoochie.
Yeah. Chalchihu Liktui.
Oh, damn. That was smooth. I could not have done that. I was going to stick with Chihuahua Hoochie.
Okay, Chihuahua Hoochie it is. It was during this stage that they also created time and the calendar. The famous.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's the Mayans. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
It's okay.
But they created
it's a very similar calendar. Yeah, it's a very similar
Still ended
calendar.
in 2012.
No, they actually give us like 1,000 more years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's the big difference. Is they're like, nah, you're cool. You're cool.
You're fine. Keep going.
2012, no significance. 3012, though, you better watch your ass.
With a planet to live on and creatures inhabiting it, creation was almost complete. Although there was a world, it was cold and dark, with no sun in the sky. The giants that roamed the land ate only acorns.
Oh, wait, let's do it. All right. There we go. Oh, yeah.
I feel like that one's mainly for you for pressing the wrong button.
That's for me for messing up.
And without a sun, the acorns couldn't grow. How the fuck were there acorns, you wonder?
Yeah.
I do.
Well, it's
just there.
It's just there. They just had acorns on hand. Like, okay, but they're weak
Eventually
acorns.
they ran out. But seeing this, the gods decided to create a sun. But creating a sun was not an easy task. It required a god to jump into a fire, shedding his mortal form, and become the sun forever.
Sun forever. I guess immortal form, but would be that.
Two gods stepped forward to volunteer. Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, thank you. And his brother, Tezcatlipoca.
Tezcatlipoca.
Mirror arm.
Mirror leg guy. Check out my mirror foot, guys.
This started a quarrel between the two brothers that would last for ages. And I mean fucking forever.
Yeah.
Literally, 4 of them.
Yeah.
With neither of them willing to relent to the other gods to put it to a vote. It was decided that Tezcatlipoca would ascend to be the sun. He stepped into the fire, but because he wasn't strong enough, or because he had been weakened by losing his foot and getting his ass kicked by his brother, he would only become half a sun.
Only half a sun.
Only half.
Yeah, just this tiny little guy.
The first son was called...
Nahul Ocelotl?
I'll take your word for that one.
Ocelotl.
Or the jaguar son. That's more like the house cat. Sorry.
Yeah. Meow. Yeah.
During this time, the world was dim and cold, and it was always gray, and the giants lumbered around in the cold without purpose.
What are you doing
The first
today?
sun lasted 13 cycles of 52 years, or 676 years, because these motherfuckers just don't give a shit.
Yeah. They do math in a very interesting way, too. I like that, too, where it's like that's how they describe the math on stuff. They're like, and it lasted for 13 cycles of 52.
You just say
so I have to do the math?
676 years.
You're going to give me a math problem as the fucking title?
All right, now let's take a quick look and a quick second, actually, to talk about the Aztec Cycles.
The cycles.
Aztecs were super intoned with the stars and the keeping of time. Mm-hmm. The Aztec had 2 separate calendars that were represented by 2 connected wheels. Without getting too deep into the time, keeping schedule, one represented the solar year and the other important days.
Yeah. And there's a lot of important days.
Their calendar, like the Mayans, was pretty damn accurate, having 365 days in a year. just a different breakdown of months and days. So every 52 years was considered a cycle. And it was believed that during the cycle was the safe time.
Yeah. So we're good. Like, we're coasting good right now.
Yeah.
I think that's even by Mayan terms. Like, if 2012 didn't get us, then I think
2022.
that 52-year cycle. We got 52 more good years till we fuck ourselves.
It was believed that during a cycle was the safe time, but at the end of every cycle, there is a potential for the world to be destroyed.
Bob, bob, bob!
And that's why every 52 years, they would do what is known as the new fire ceremony, or the binding of the years.
Bind the years!
The Aztec people would throw out all their idols, cooking pots, mats, and cloths, basically all their shit.
Everything you own.
Everything.
You just throw it out in front of your house into your front yard.
They would extinguish all of the fires and then sit on their roofs looking out at the stars waiting for the world to end. The final night of the cycle, the shaman would pick the best possible sacrifice, usually a captured leader from another tribe or a wailing jaguar warrior.
You know, not the sacrifice way, but the, like, sitting on your roof, just kind of chill, waiting for the world to end, I feel like would be the best possible way to, like, if you knew an apocalypse was coming and everyone got a warning, like, yeah, fuck all the rioting and looting. Like, throw your shit out on your lawn.
Set it on fire.
Set it on fire.
Wait for it to burn out.
Grab a fucking beer. Grab a joint. Go climb up onto your roof. And just
Wait
fucking
for the blood sacrifice to come down.
chill it out.
Then they would take the sacrifice bodies to the peak of the Star Mountain, which is also known today as Cerro de la Estera.
Very nice. Carrero de la Estera.
Estrella.
Estrella.
Sorry, I said that wrong.
Fine.
Then
Australia.
they would watch the
Pallades.
Pleiades rise into the sky. They knew that if it was off, that the whole cosmos was doomed.
Yeah.
Then, when it was at its highest, they would cut the heart out of the sacrifice and throw it into the fire. And after that, they would fill his chest hole with pitch and flint and then attempt to light it.
It's a pretty horrible way to go.
And attempt to light it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it didn't light.
Well, I guess it always lit because we're still here.
Yeah. If the fire lit, then the world would go on and the sun could rise again. If it did not, the end was nigh. And after the chest fire was lit, runners would take torches from it and relight everyone's fires.
It was like an
Then-
Olympic torch ceremony.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Wow. Then there would be a 12-day party. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Yeah. Yeah, it's wild how they
I like
talk
12 days
about
of
that
partying.
too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 12 days apart. Well, because
I mean, I
also
can't
you
do
got
it
to
these
think
days, but-
if everyone is just chilling, right, and you're sitting on your roof waiting for the world to end, and you've already got a couple in you because you're like, fuck it, why not? It's probably over tonight anyway.
I'm going to eat a
I'm
horse
gonna lay
heart.
on my house and watch the stars, watch the Pallades rise into the fucking sky. Yeah, and then the guy comes down with the torch, just running, and they also said that the way they did it, it wasn't like he just came and lit a big fire. Like they would actually have enough torch lighters that they would go house to house and relight your fires for you. So it's like some dude just shows up, lights your fire. It's like, fuck yeah!
We're going!
We had 12 days of partying, everybody.
Keep those fires
Yeah.
lit.
And then one of the historical things I read too had the worst kind of comment about that whole cycle because it was the guy talking about who had seen one of the last time they actually did that. And he had a comment at the end about wondering if everything was dispelled because the fire lit perfectly right before the conquistadors showed up. It's like, oh, that's kind of a hard burn on them. Like, well,
Yeah.
but all their beliefs are shit because that fire lit perfectly and then we rolled on their asses. Like, ooh, dude, don't fuck it. I think it was a Spanish guy writing it too, so it's a real in-your-face way to put it at the end of the story.
So, Oh, wow. After watching his brother hang in the sky and getting all the love for
All
676
that
years,
love.
Quetzalcoatl
Quetzalcoatl.
was done. He flew up into the sky with his mighty club, and he hit his brother out of the sky, sending him back to the earth. Tezcatlipoca, whatever. He was pissed. He turned himself into a mighty jaguar and roamed the earth, killing all of the giants and leaving the earth barren again. Rawr.
Total dick move. Yeah.
The next cycle would belong to Quetzalcoatl, and it would be known as the Nahola Echkale, or the Wind Sun.
This one really blows, guys. Wait. Oh, wrong button again. I'm 0 for fucking 2 on the buttons.
That one's for you.
That one's for me being such a button failure today.
Quetzalcoatl went into the flames and became the next sun. He was a full and bright sun, and under him the world prospered. He created humans again, and this time they were normal size, and they fed on peanut nuts.
Peanut nuts.
Wow,
Yeah.
a little big difference.
It's weird how specific they are about what everyone in every era feeds off of too. And these people came into being and
Ate pine cones.
They ate pine cones. Like what?
Really?
Really?
That's it?
That's it?
No fish?
No fish?
No beef?
No beef?
No chicken?
Just pine cones?
No cheese?
No cheese?
No queso?
No queso?
When does queso get invented?
Yeah, when does queso get invented? God damn it, I need to know, when does queso get invented?
So the humans learned to farm and thrive, and this world would only last for 13 cycles as well, or 676 years.
Yeah.
This age would also be ended to the brothers' dispute. Yeah, remember? They didn't like each other.
They didn't like each other. They're a couple of
Assholes.
Yeah.
And after a time, humans started to grow corrupt, and Quetzalcoatl focused his attention on them. Seeing his attention turned, Tezcatlipoca jumped onto his brother in his jaguar form and threw him from his throne, causing massive hurricanes. All of the humans had to cling to the treetops to keep from being blown from the earth. The people stuck in the treetops became monkeys.
Yeah.
Reverse evolution.
Reverse evolution.
And their ancestors still roamed the jungle.
Yes, they do.
They
They also snatch fruit out of people's hands on the YouTubes.
I've seen one of them fucking just grab a fucking cell phone and
Yeah, just book it with the camera itself.
Fuck you, bitches. There is another version where Tezcatlipoca turned the people into monkeys, and then out of anger, Quetzalcoatl blew most of them away, and the few that remained
It's got to stay
are the
and be
monkeys
monkeys. Yeah.
themselves. To this day.
To this day. So there would have been all kinds of different monkeys had they not blown them all away.
Mm-hmm. So with the brothers locked in their quarrel, the next god to take over as the sun was the rain god, Talok.
Talak.
And he was a bright sun and made humans again.
Oh.
Sun always makes the humans.
We always get some humans.
Yeah. He, for a short time, things were happy, and the people fed on seeds that grew from the water.
Yeah, it's weird. They don't even say what it is. It was just like a weird water seed that only grew during that sun. At least from what I read. Yeah.
This would be known as the Age of Fire, oddly enough. But shortly after taking over, Tezcatlipoca took Talok's wife. And Talok became obsessed with revenge.
Yeah.
He stopped all of the rain so that the world would become dry and desolate, and then he turned all the people into birds, butterflies, and dogs.
Woof woof. Yeah.
That's how we got our ghost face today.
That's how we got our pooches. and our butterflies.
I
Side
fucking
note,
like
Kim's
butterflies.
terrified of
Fuck no.
butterflies.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got a thing against that shit. Every time one comes into my car, I scream and run out. It's worse
Yeah.
than a bee.
Yeah.
I would rather deal with a fucking
Yeah.
bee in
You'll
my
just
car
like
than
shoo away and
butterfly.
be a butterfly comes in. It's like, ah!
I'm kind of getting better.
Yeah.
Kind of. Not really.
Yeah.
Quetzalcoatl saw this as an abomination, and he made it rain fire, destroying the world again. The dogs, the butterflies, and the birds that survived would be the ancestors of the animals that we know today. The third sun would only last 7 cycles, or 364 years.
Yeah. For you mathers out there.
Fuck, there's math shit.
Yeah.
Not a math person.
Yeah. That's there was another version too that said it was all Tlaloc, but it was because he was so sad he didn't make it rain, and then everyone kept begging him to rain, and then they started getting mad at him in their prayers, and so he got pissed off and made it rain, but he made it rain fire instead of water.
You want some fucking rain?
You want some fucking rain? I got your fucking rain
fire
right here.
Yeah. With the cosmos in chaos, it was decided it was time for a new sun. The fourth sun would be known as the water sun.
Water sun.
Chalkihuacli. What would you call her? Chihuahua Coochie?
Chihuahua Hoochie, yeah. Chahala Hoochie Coochie.
Wife and sister of Tlaloc was chosen to be the next sun. Her age would be one of water. And it was during this time that the modern agriculture was created. The people ate a new vegetable called maize. Maize, sorry.
My ass.
My ass.
They ate a new thing called my ass. Hope you think it's tasty, bitches.
It was plentiful, and the people were happy.
My ass was plentiful. People were just
too many cookies
going up in there.
Sadly, this age would also end badly. Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca looked upon her with jealousy. Both wanting to be the sun themselves, they flew up and killed Chicahotl by stabbing her.
Chihuahua Hoochie. Yeah.
Bitches.
Yeah.
As she fell to the earth, so did all the water in the sky. It flooded the earth, turning all the people into fish, sharks, and dolphins. The age of the fourth sun lasted for 13 cycles, or 676 years.
That's an important number, too. They've got numbers all up in this.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
676.
It's just the one guy, just the last guy, Tlaloc, who didn't get his whole fucking run in.
Real. After the Great Flood, there was a time of darkness. Seeing what had happened to the last 4 times, the gods were reluctant to let another sun ascend.
Should we put up another sun? Why would we, Quetzalcoatl? Why? You're going to fucking fuck it up.
Her.
No, I won't, but my brother Tlaloc will.
Oh, you guys are just fuckers.
You guys are fuckers.
It was during that time that Quetzalcoatl would create the modern version of humans. He went down into the underworld, called Mictlan, and retrieved the bones of all the dead from the previous suns.
Yeah. So all of the different versions of people that had died, all of their fucking bones.
Took them all up.
Yeah.
And then he brought them up from the Mictlan. Mictlan. And then pierced his ears, calves, tongue, and dick. Hashtags digs out till affinity.
Yeah. Hashtag fucking Prince Albert.
Ow.
Prince Quetzalcoatl. Do you have the Prince Albert or the Jacob's Ladder? No, I got the Quetzalcoatl. Shoot the big rod right through the middle of it.
Movement. You know what I mean? Big ears.
Big ears. Big gauged out dongs.
Ugh.
Yeah. Now they used to gauge their balls. They used to gauge their balls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't put that near my snatch.
Sorry to go there, people, but
it happened.
It happened. It wasn't me who went there.
It's not really.
Trust me, I do not have gauged balls.
No, he doesn't.
Yet.
It's pretty hairless down there. He also decided that it was time to call a truce with his brother. Fucking about time. Jesus, what is this, like 1800 fucking years? almost 2,000 years of just
Yeah,
quarreling.
of just quarreling, fucking up every fucking world that you create.
With peace in the cosmos for the first time since creation, the gods decided that it was time for the fifth sun.
The fifth sun.
There are two very distinct versions of how the fifth sun came into existence. One version says that when it came time, Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca both wanted their sons to become the next sun.
Yeah.
War again.
Yeah. I like that. We're done fighting, but my boy will beat the shit out of your boy.
And then a new era.
And then a new era comes.
And when the time came and the fire was built, Quetzalcoatl made it first. And he threw his son in while the fire was blazing.
Blazing fire.
Because off of this, he became the brighter than any sun before. Right when it was at its peak. Tezcatlipoca slept in and made it to the fire pretty late.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Dustin would do.
Yeah, he woke up and he's like, fuck that
on my
bonfire thing
Maui
was
time.
today. Oh.
Ah, shit.
The kid's like, yeah, I'm supposed to become the sun, Dad. Like, well, did you make me coffee? Then we're going to be later. So.
He threw his son into the fire when it was only ash and embers. And because of this, he was less bright and would always be covered in ash. He became the moon. And because of his lateness, he would always travel behind the sun.
I do like those two things. Like, the moon is white because it's ashy. And it's always behind the sun because it's late.
All right, the other version is a little bit more in depth, and to me, it sounds more Aztec-y.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. In other versions, the gods gathered at Teotihuacan to decide who.
Teotihuacan.
Oh, the U is not.
Yeah. Is it?
To decide who would be the next to ascend.
Mexico City, pretty much.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's what it is today. Among all of them, there were two choices that stood out. The rich and proud god, Ezekiel.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Tecuizucatal.
Tekukazel.
I cannot give you shit about any pronunciation.
Boisterously claimed to be willing to make the sacrifice. And on the other side, the plague god, Nana-Huatzin,
yeah.
who was sickly and covered in sores, humbly put himself forth. You know, I was told that he actually had leprosy.
Yeah.
He looked like a leopard.
Yeah, that's the sores he was covered in, was some leprosy sores.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think, he was also like the god of leprosy, which is a weird thing to be the god of.
Yeah. But hey, who will we to judge?
Yeah.
So the fire god built a huge sacrificial bonfire, and Tezcatlipoca decided he would be the next sun. He stepped up to the giant pier, but at the last minute, he stepped away like a pussy.
Yeah.
Just too scared.
It's hot in there. It's a fire, dude. It's
thought.
supposed to be hot.
Don't like this.
Well, no, it's going to be that hot.
Seeing this, the humble, plague-ridden Nana-Huatzin, stepped up and leapt into the fire.
I like with him too. It's a real easy decision too, because with the other guy, it's like, oh, it's hot and it's burning my nice clothes. He's like, well, it beats plague sores.
So
yeah, sure.
No different than the burning sensation upon my skin.
Who wants to jump in? He's the one over there. Like, can I please die?
Please,
please. I've had leprosy for fucking 1,000 years. You know how many cycles that is?
Ooh. His courage transformed him into Tanazua?
Tanathu.
The glorious... Okay,
I don't know. Tanathu, Tanathu. One of those.
Tanawia.
Tanatuia.
The glorious sun god.
Glorious.
Seeing his bravery, Tetsuzekiel That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, guys.
that's Ezekiel.
It's a lot of weird. I'd spell it for you, but I can't even read the spelling.
Yeah.
Turned back and jumped into the flames last second. He got over his pussy fear.
Yeah, he saw the other dude do it, and he's like, well, I'm not going to be a bitch.
Yeah. And he also transformed into a sun. Witnessing the actions of the gods, a jaguar and an eagle went into the fire also.
Yeah. They just watched it, and they're like,
I'll
yeah,
help
that's pretty fucking badass. Let's do it, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Their spirits would go into the great Aztec warriors.
Yeah.
Into all
Yeah.
great Aztec
And that's why
warriors.
they're like their classes of warriors were known as jaguar and eagle warriors, because they were the two brave
The two.
motherfuckers that went into the fire.
That's not bravery. It's called stupidity,
It's
people.
called stupid. Yeah. Don't jump into a fire.
Yeah, don't learn from these.
Don't
Don't
do
learn. Also, the fire caused all future eagles to have black tips on their feathers and the jaguars to have black spots.
Mm-hmm.
So they were naked before.
Yeah.
Much like my dog right now because I shaved him.
Yeah. Shaved and naked.
Yeah,
Jaguars in the wild.
Now, there was a new problem. There were two suns in the sky.
It's too hot.
The combined light was too much to bear, and people's skin would burn, and they couldn't see because of the light. The gods had to figure out what to do quickly, so they came up with a solution. They grabbed a giant rabbit and threw it into the face of Texecuel.
That's my favorite part. What are we going to do? Hold on. I've got an idea. Oh, okay, that did it.
It hit his face and left a large bruise, diminishing his light. He became the moon. And that is why, from the right angle, you can see the shape of a rabbit on the full moon.
Yeah, that's because it got slapped in the face with a rabbit, which
Now-
is...
Yeah. Now, with only one glorious sun, the gods thought their problems would be done. But they were wrong.
They were wrong.
Always wrong.
Always wrong.
Tanathu held high in the sky and refused to move until the other gods had sacrificed themselves to him. Probably wouldn't be too long. honestly. At first, they refused, but after years in the burning sun, they finally relented.
It's just noon in the middle of summer permanently.
All the time.
All the time.
Quetzalcoatl gathered all the gods and then cut out their hearts and threw them into the fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then he wrapped their bodies in sacrificial clothes and burned them.
Yeah.
A lot of burning.
A lot of burning.
According to one myth, Tezcatlipoca.
Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca. I just
Wow,
have
I'm
to
having
say
a
it like an
moment again.
Italian, and I can tell. Oh, it was a Tezcatlipoca.
His cloth was saved, and the Aztecs had it in one of their cities, most likely.
Tenochtitlan. Tenochtitlan.
Tenochtitlan.
Tenochtitlan.
But again, conquistadors.
Conquistadors.
After all the other gods were sacrificed, Quetzalcoatl built a stone chest and then adorned himself in turquoise and set himself ablaze, promising to return one day and be resurrected. I do like me some turquoise.
Yeah.
It's good stone. It is even believed that some of the Moctezuma
Montezuma. Moctezuma.
thought that the arrival of the Hernan
Cortez.
would be returned, would be the return of Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah.
But that is most likely just some conquistador bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, it's even thought that the return of Quetzalcoatl was also probably not put forth until the Spanish translated it.
Interesting.
Basically, making the comparison to that other guy who resurrected and said he would come back.
They always say they'll come back.
They always say that they'll
They go
come
out
back.
for a pack of cigs and they just don't come back.
Where's your deity? Well,
Ah.
Quetzalcoatl left when I was 13. Went to
For
get
some
a pack of
Virginia
smokes.
Slims.
Said he'd never be back.
And that is the reason Aztec would make so many sacrifices to the sun, because it was believed that if blood ever stopped flowing, the sun would stop in the sky.
Yeah.
There was also a ton of other sacrifices, but those were mainly to Kiplakti, who was all of the cosmos.
Yeah. The lady from the beginning that got pulled apart. Because
Oh,
they
yeah,
also,
giant
yeah.
fish.
They believe she was still alive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like she's ripped apart and she's dismembered, but because of what she is, she can't actually die.
Yep. Even dismembered, she was still alive.
Yeah.
That's fucking
And
frightening.
so you make sacrifices to keep her alive.
That's like those cannibals that amputate you.
Yeah.
Just one piece at a time. Stick
Yeah.
your arm.
Would have a
other arm,
conversation
stick your
with you
leg.
while they're eating you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time would be known as the fifth sun or the earthquake sun.
Shaky, shaky people.
The people of this age
Get your earthquake
feasted
insurance.
on meat as well as maize. I
Maize.
almost call it miasma.
Miasma.
There's no
They
M or
feasted
A
on
on the
meat
end, I'm like-
as well as my ass. They ate a lot of my ass while I was slapping them with that meat.
Also, lots of fast food and chicken wings.
Yes.
This
Tons of
age-
chicken wings.
This age is one that is inhabited by all forms of life, from creation onward.
Yep. All of the remaining creatures get to live in this glorious world.
This age is marked by the movement both of land and of the people.
Mm-hmm.
In this age in which we live and from which all known history is taken.
Oh, I'll do that with the God voice, too. This is the age in which we live, and from which all known
The
history
age
is
of
taken.
Aquarius.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah.
It is said that this age will end with earthquakes that will destroy the world. Then the people will be eaten by monsters from the sky.
Ancient aliens, y'all.
Pterodactyls.
Pterodactyls. Space
But-
pterodactyls.
Then again, we will probably just turn into space squirrels or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So no worries, right?
Getting into this made me so much scared of so much less scared of like the Mayan and Aztec apocalypses too.
You're like, oh shit.
Because it's like, oh,
there's no
oh,
such
well, they
thing.
didn't tell me that when the world ends in 2012, I just get to like turn into a fucking space squirrel. You know what I mean? Like the people
Fucking
always live
show.
on. Like, sure, a bunch of them go, but the rest turn into monkeys or turkeys or dogs or
1%.
butterflies. Yeah.
Another
That would be
interesting.
Kim's worst nightmare. The apocalypse happens, and all of a sudden,
We're butterflies.
we're butterflies.
Fucking hell. Who's gonna squish me?
Who's gonna-
Another interesting point about the Aztec myth is that it makes so different is the fact that it is incomplete.
Incomplete.
It's incomplete.
Yeah.
Back scratch. I need a back scratcher.
Back
Personal
scratcher.
Back scratcher, please.
Back scratcher.
Not from a sense that they're going to finish it,
Yeah, not because they didn't finish it.
or that we didn't get all of it. Thanks again to
Hernan.
Cortez.
Fucking Hernan.
It is the fact that it is meant to keep going.
Yeah.
The cycle will end in destruction, but like all the times before, it will be reborn. This is just one of many cycles. Best math I could do puts us somewhere around the 19th cycle. Using their date, it's about 1011 right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the date. So basically, what I did is I tried to do the math.
You did math.
It made it hard because a lot of the stuff I was looking at, it's like, learn to figure out where we are from the Mayan or Aztec calendar, and I'd go to look at it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's 36 pages, and they don't
Mhm.
even have the number.
They didn't give
They're
a
just
shit.
telling me how to calculate a number. But
Good
from
luck, do it yourself.
yeah, from the best number I found was they set their creation date at 1011,
Mm-hmm.
which would put us in the 19th cycle of the fifth sun.
Right. But again, the fucking conquistadors destroyed everything that they got their hands on and outlawed the language.
Yeah.
Funny fact also is that the Aztecs was basically originally more of a derogatory slang used by the
Yeah,
Spaniards.
I didn't know that at all. I had no clue that
Yeah.
like Aztec was not the nice word for them.
I think they just named it after the city they were in, right? Adilac?
No,
Aflac?
I forget what it meant.
But anyway, the Aztecs were believed to go by the term Mexica.
Mexica. Yeah. And
What was this?
yeah, I was looking at that and I was really confused because I totally saw a thing that was talking about it, and it was someone ranting about it, and I thought they were kind of going off base on their rant until I saw the history, and they were just like,
You got
people
me.
always shame the Aztec people by doing this and this, and or shame the Mexican people by doing this and this and this and
They're
those
the
the
same.
Mexicans were this and that. And I kept thinking, like, is he just calling the Aztec Mexicans? Because I mean, I know some people in the South that I could picture having that, like, now, well, the Mexicans built that pyramid down there. Yeah. But turns out that was actually the correct term, and Aztec was the wrong one. The more you know.
Racial profiling.
Racial profiling.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Hope you folks enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
It's been fun, as it always is.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah. Give us any suggestions too.
Yeah.
That's how we came across doing this one.
If you don't like my face, just let me know and I'll blur it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't like my face, let me know and I'll put
Just
your
laugh at
face
you.
on my face. Ha. Then you won't like your own face.
Boom.
Our sources for this episode, mexconnect.com, aztec-history.com, thoughtco.com/Aztec Creation, and ancient-origins.net. Yeah. I had to, I did a lot of different searching to find all the complete information the best I could.
There's so fucking much, dude.
That's so much. And
There's
there's
so many
still
different versions.
yeah,
too.
like I could
We just
literally
chose
go
ones that
back
looked more
and talk
Aztec-y.
about I could literally, we could do a whole nother episode just talking about the different deities or different things that they did during those 5 sun periods, before
Exactly.
the big sacrificing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lots of fire though.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's
The
them.
cutting the heart out and building a fire and the whole thing still gives me heartburn.
They were trying to make Kahlua pork.
They were trying to depict what happens when you eat too much spicy food.
Oh god.
Like
right.
it's just like this, see? You
got me there.
Yeah. The other dude's over there like, ooh, mine's worse. I just ate some fucking habaneros.
I got some Taco Bell. in me.
Got some Taco Bell in me, bro. It's making a run for the border.
Shit, I need to make a run for the
Oh
toilet.
yeah.
Just
Well,
kidding.
yep, folks. Have a good night.
Have a good night,
Yeah.
everyone. Take care.
Yeah. Also, tune in next time, Thursday for a full episode, and every Saturday for a little short.
Also buy our merchandise.
Check out some merch. Hi. Yeah. Bye.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice.